Welcome back to Today in History, and thank you for joining us again. What if I told you that today, July 25th, marks some of the most remarkable milestones in science, architecture, technology, and pop culture? From the founding of a world-famous chapel to the first footsteps in space by a woman, this day has stories you won't want to miss. Let's take a look at what happened on this day in history. On July 25th, 1446, King Henry VI laid the foundation stone for King's College Chapel in Cambridge. The date, falling on St. James's Day, was chosen to reflect the king's religious devotion and his grand vision for the college he founded in 1441. Though the chapel took over a century to complete, it stands today as one of the finest examples of late Gothic English architecture. On this day in 1814, English engineer George Stephenson unveiled his first practical steam locomotive, named Blucher, at Killingworth, designed to haul coal more efficiently than horse-drawn wagons. The locomotive's success laid crucial groundwork for the railway revolution and for Stephenson's later triumphs, including the famous rocket. In 1835, Scottish inventor James Bowman Lindsay showcased a constant electric light in Dundee. His incandescent lamp produced a steady beam strong enough to read by, an astonishing achievement decades ahead of Edison. Though he didn't commercialize it, Lindsay offered the world a glimpse of the electric age to come. Then, in 1837, British inventors William Fothergill Cooke and Charles Wheatstone successfully demonstrated the first commercial electric telegraph, using 5 magnetic needles to transmit messages along a railway line from US Stand to Camden Town. The demonstration marked a turning point in long-distance communication. Wilhelm Schneider of Davenport, Iowa, received a US patent for a carousel design on this day in 1871. His creation helped popularize the fairground ride and contributed to the growth of amusement parks across the United States. On July 25, 1908, Ajinomoto was founded in Japan after chemist Kikunae Ikeda discovered monosodium glutamate, the source of umami flavor in foods like kelp broth. The discovery transformed cooking worldwide and introduced the 5th basic taste to culinary science. A year later, in 1909, French aviator Louis became the first person to fly a powered aircraft across the English Channel, taking off from Calais and landing near Dover. He won a £1,000 prize from the Daily Mail and showed the world just how real powered flight had become. Canada introduced its first federal income tax on this day in 1917. Brought in by Prime Minister Sir Robert Borden to fund World War I, the tax ranged from 4 to 25% and was initially promised to be temporary. Over a century later, it remains a permanent fixture of Canadian life. In 1946, the United States conducted its first underwater nuclear explosion as part of Operation Crossroads, known as the Baker Test. The blast at Bikini Atoll sent a massive column of water skyward and sank several ships, highlighting the power of nuclear weapons and ushering in a new era of military strategy. On July 25, 1965, Bob Dylan shocked the Newport Folk Festival by plugging in, known for his acoustic protest songs. Dylan's electric performance, including Like a Rolling Stone, divided fans but marked a seismic shift in music history, blending folk and rock in a way that still resonates today. 1 year later, in 1966, the Supremes released You Can't Hurry Love. Written by the legendary Motown team Holland Dozier Holland, the track became a chart-topping hit and a timeless anthem, capturing the heart of the Motown sound and leaving a lasting impression on pop music. Matt LeBlanc, best known as Joey from Friends, was born on July 25, 1967. His character's charm and comic timing made him a fan favorite around the world and earned him a lasting place in television history. In 1978, Louise Joy Brown was born in Oldham, England, becoming the world's first test tubes baby, conceived through in vitro fertilization. Her birth revolutionized reproductive medicine and gave hope to millions of couples struggling with infertility. Then came one of rock's greatest comebacks. On this day in 1980, AC/DC released Back in Black, their first album after the death of lead singer Bon Scott, with Brian Johnson at the mic. The album featured classics like Hell's Bells and You Shook Me All Night Long, becoming one of the best-selling records of all time. On July 25, 1984, Soviet cosmonaut Svetlana Savitskaya became the first woman to walk in space, performing extravehicular work aboard the Soyuz 7 space station. She helped pave the way for future female astronauts in space programs around the world. And finally, in 2018, scientists from the European Space Agency announced they had discovered a subglacial lake beneath Mars's south polar ice cap, detected by radar aboard the Mars Express orbiter. The lake hinted at the presence of stable liquid water, renewing hopes for finding life on the red planet. From science and architecture to music, aviation and space, July 25th has seen moments that changed how we live, how we communicate, and how we dream. If you enjoyed these stories, don't forget to like, follow, or subscribe depending on where you're watching. We share new history facts every day, so join us and uncover the past one day at a time. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow.